A new group has just been established to preserve the heritage and amenity values of central Dunedin. It's called City Rise Up, and founding member Meg Davidson is joining us with talk about it. Meg, thank you very much for coming into the studio.
Thank you.
How did this group come about? What is the impetus for City Rise Up?
We woke up to the fact that the suburbs closest to the city centre were becoming degraded, largely because of the increase in rental accommodation in those areas and the effects that flow on from that. We're concerned about antisocial behaviour from some tenants, including littering and graffiti.
General bad behaviour.
General bad behaviour.
Yeah, we can see this. It's quite visible to us with the graffiti and rubbish being left out in the streets.
Yes, and noisy too. Noisy partying, fighting in the street. And unfortunately, because this lifestyle, so-called, has become normalised, also harassment of people who dare to complain. The people who perpetrate this behaviour feel quite entitled to behave that way. The second thing we're concerned about is the loss of our built heritage as houses are demolished to make way for new flats and turned into studio rooms. These two issues are related. They're sort of locked in a downward spiral. The permanent residents get very stressed because of the disorder they're living with on a daily basis. It's not just a bit of partying on the weekend, it's all week and every week, for years, with a new set of tenants, neighbours, every year.
And the problems escalate and compound.
Yes, they do. And it's stressful. So they move out, the developers move in, there's more rental accommodation, and so it goes.
And a shabby sprawl from the city centre out.
I'm afraid so. Mm.
So how many people are currently involved in City Rise Up?
We had 30 people along to our first meeting a couple of weeks ago, and we've got double that number of supporters now.
What is the next step for you, and how do you intend to improve things, please?
Well, we're looking forward to making a start. We already have made a start. We want to support people who are affected by the disorder. We intend to run workshops about the various issues, and we will lobby for greater regulation of building because to make sure that the new accommodation that is built is in keeping with the character of the area and with the surrounding houses, and also that it's not possible to cram too many people onto a single property. Now, intensification of housing is not a bad thing in itself. It's something that the DCC is encouraging, and we support that, but it has to be carefully managed, and it's not being carefully managed at all at present.
Very briefly, can you sum up what will happen if nothing is done? What if we stand by and do nothing?
We'll lose our built heritage, which is the most wonderful thing about Dunedin. It's what tourists come to see.
And we are the city's, the nation's oldest city as well.
Dunedin is New Zealand's best preserved Victorian city. We'll lose that. And also the...
Meg Davidson, thank you so very much for coming in. I'm sorry we could do this for ages. Thank you so